News Center 25, your hometown news.
Tonight, the owner of a local hair and nail salon is dealing with a problem that stinks, literally, in more ways than one. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us for News Center 25 at 10. I'm Jonathan McCall. Drivers beware. Construction now officially underway for a major stretch of Loop 463. The loop between Salem and Mockingbird will be closed for the rest of the year, so TxDOT crews can start on an overpass that will be placed at the intersections of Salem and Mockingbird. Frontage roads on the east and westbound sides of the loop have been opened to accommodate the traffic. Drivers traveling through that area are advised to take extra caution. New tonight at 10 o'clock, a disturbing story from Houston. A brother and sister found living inside of an abandoned school bus. Montgomery County sheriffs say the children's parents in jail since 2008 for fraud. Authorities say the children had been living on their own inside of that bus for at least 12 hours every day. A relative, we're told, would periodically come by to check on them. A neighbor also says they would bring them food occasionally. The bus did have electricity, but officials say the kids were very dirty. Tragic story there. The brother and sister have been removed from that bus and placed into foster care. So far, no charges have been filed. Meanwhile, a portion of Interstate 10 once again open near Beaumont tonight after a hazmat spill shut the freeway down for nearly a day. All westbound lanes and one eastbound lane of Interstate 10 were closed so crews could clean up nearly 20 gallons of a chemical used in dry cleaning. Texas DPS troopers say the driver of the 18-wheeler somehow lost control of his big rig, causing the truck to skid before overturning. The driver was taken to a Beaumont hospital with just minor injuries. Troopers say the cause of that accident remains under investigation. On the heels of last night's Super Tuesday primaries, President Obama was on the road today in North Carolina. During a visit to a truck manufacturing plant, the president fired back at critics who say he is responsible for rising gas prices. The president's warned voters in this key battleground state to be skeptical of the election year claims of his opponents. ABC's TJ Winnick has the detail. Speaking of gas prices, they are down for the second day in a row. AAA says prices dropped 0.3 of a cent overnight. The national average for gas is now $3.76 a gallon. Here in the Lone Star State, the average price around $3.59 a gallon. New tonight at 10 o'clock, Toyota owners, listen up. The Japanese automaker is recalling more than 680,000 vehicles here in the U.S. that may have some potential problems. Those recalls affect 495,000 Tacoma trucks made from 2005 to 2009, nearly 71,000 Camrys from that same year, and just over 115,000 Venzas made from 2009 to 2011. Officials say the Tacomas have a part that needs to be replaced in the steering wheels. The Camry and Venzas are being recalled to replace a stop lamp switch. So far, no accidents have been reported in either of those recalls. Toyota says owners will be notified of the problems early next month. Terrorists may be plotting new attacks on America, not on land, but through cyber attacks. FBI Director Robert Mueller says terrorists may be looking to train their own recruits or even hire outsiders with an eye towards pursuing cyber attacks on America. Mueller says terrorists have not used the internet to launch a full-scale cyber attack, but the FBI isn't underestimating the terrorist capabilities to do so. Mueller says he supports increasing the criminal penalties for computer hacking. Next time you're heading out on a vacation, here's something to think about. Americans are the worst tourists in the world, according to a new survey from livingsocial.com. More than 5,000 people from 5 countries ranked Americans as the worst behaved tourists. 4,000 of those actually surveyed were Americans, calling ourselves the worst tourists. Canadians and Australians agreed, but Irish people said British tourists are the worst. And the British, they pointed the finger at the Germans as well. All right, next story. Are you so attached to your phone that you panic or even get anxious when you can't use it? You're not alone. Guess what? I keep mine at the desk, and there's actually a known condition for it. It's called nomophobia, or no mobile phone phobia. An online British study found 66% of people became stressed when their phone was out of reach. Women and people from ages 18 to 24 are the most prone to that condition. Experts say there are some ways to tackle nomophobia, like turning off your phone for a set period of time and sticking to it. That could also help loosen the hold that the phone has on a nomophobe's life. That's really a word there. Yeah. All right, it's been talked about for weeks, but today Apple finally unveiled its new iPad 3. New features include a sharper screen and a faster processor. For the very first time, the iPad will be able to access the faster 4G cellular networks. Apple says the new display will be even sharper than the high-definition television set you may be looking at right now. The company says it will show more saturated colors than previous models. Apple says the new model will also be 4 times faster. If you're interested, like our director Mark, those new iPads will go on sale March 16th, but the prices won't be changing. The models will start at $499 and will go all the way up to $829. That's right. Experts say these are some of the strongest flares since 2006. ABC's Chuck Silverston has the latest. Sad that this stuff really isn't made up.
We can't do this, folks, on our own.
All right, next question. How many times have you experienced some road rage behind the wheel? Definitely guilty of that. But what would you do if somebody gave you an unpleasant gesture but would later need your help just seconds later? That's exactly what happened to a Florida mom earlier this week. Listen to this. Kristen Dominy was headed home Monday evening. She says a woman was driving erratically, sped past her. The driver of that other car gave her the finger as she passed her up. 30 seconds later, Dominy saw that same woman's car up in flames against a tree. Being a good Samaritan, she pulled over, helped the woman and her daughter out of that burning car. Good story there. The mother and daughter of that other car were flown to a nearby hospital. Investigators trying to determine what caused the other car to catch on fire. Hopefully, the driver of that other car did thank her for stopping to pull over.
Yeah, give her a different kind of
maybe a handshake.
Yeah.
5 fingers.